Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Red Forest. I'm Peyton,
This is Adam.
and I'm not really sure what I'm gonna call this. I don't know if it's an off-topic rambling or it's a staying on topic, but the main discussion, well, the first discussion is I want to talk about mental health, not with just with men, but with women, everyone. What's your take on it, Adam?
Well, be a man.
No.
Nah, nah. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I mean, it was a joke, by the way, people. Okay, it was a joke. I promise. So, my honest opinion on it is,
Yes.
in this world,
Mm-hmm.
at this moment in time,
We're s-
everybody's crazy one way or another.
We're soft men in hard times.
Yes. And that's how it's probably going to be for a bit. I mean,
Unfortunately.
if you really think about it. Because, you know, yeah, mental health is serious. You have to take it seriously.
Of
You know,
course.
you're down, get help, talk to somebody.
Amen.
Because if you don't, it's just going to be worse. Even if it's just somebody, even if it's just somebody normal and everything. I mean, even then, it's going to be just somebody to talk to, because that always helps. Like when you vent to somebody or you're frustrated and you start getting it out, and the next thing you know, you're like, hey, I feel better now. That's what you have to do, because if you hold it in, it's not safe, and then when you do blow up, it's going to be a lot worse than it should be.
But in reality, we're all hypocrites when it comes to it.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much you want to express your feelings, you have that sense of doubt, like they don't really care, or I don't want to bother them. They have enough problems. But in reality, what you're thinking about those people is completely wrong, because I, like, if I've heard someone say to me that you got enough problems, I don't want to add on to it. I was like, it's not really your decision. It's
Mm-hmm.
because we're going out of our way to make sure you're okay, and you would want the same thing back.
Yeah. Like I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I mean, and that's what it is. Nobody wants to ask for help,
Amen.
because when you do, it makes you feel weak,
Yes.
and people think, oh, yeah, you solve it yourself. Be a man about it. When in reality, everybody needs help every once in a while.
Yeah, but we automatically think, I know myself better than anyone else. How are they gonna know what I'm thinking? But
Thing is, they won't know what you think unless you say something.
that is true. But you assume that they know,
Mm-hmm.
that they understands. Like, but I mean, I've I've been kind of hypocritical. I don't take my advice that I give. Maybe I should, but
Nobody does,
yeah,
unless you think it's a good idea. Nobody listens to their own advice. If they did, this would be a perfect world, but nobody does, because they choose not to. Because just because you say, "Hey, this is you should do this,"
yeah,
it's like practice what you preach type thing. If you say one thing, you tell people, "Hey, you should do this," but in all reality, for you, you don't like it. But you're not put in that situation where you have to make that decision or think that way. So it's easier said than done.
yeah. You're right. But no, but you're right.
I mean,
Simple as that.
but no, nobody knows. Nobody has one fits all.
Yeah.
Everybody's life different. Everybody's different.
Everyone thinks different.
Yeah.
I think that's another reason why I don't take my own advice, because regardless of what you do to help someone, they're going to think of it in a different way.
Mm.
So how do you know how they took it and how they went with that advice is going to be the same for you?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, in all reality, like
Yeah.
they might have had a hard day and they might try to talk to people, and then people told them, certain thing, and they took it out of context, or they said it. That person said it the wrong way, so they
Yeah.
took it the wrong way, and the next thing you know, when you try to give it to them, they're going to even think it the wrong way when they shouldn't, but they do because everybody else has told them that, but they said it in a different way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like
It does.
you could have people could have told you, yeah, hey, you need to do this to solve your problem, but they say it in a way like, hey, you caused this yourself, anyways, and then. But then somebody else be like, hey, listen, I think this would be the best way to do it. And then you'll make you going to take it as a personal thing. Like, I know I did something wrong when they're not even trying to be that way. They're just like, hey, this is how I think in your situation, this is how I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
But would they take their own advice?
No.
Probably not, because they're not in that situation at that moment.
Yes, they can just try to give you as much of a good advice as they can, but you technically don't really know until you're in that situation.
And I think they're like you see therapists like that, and they're really good to talk to, because I've done it before.
Never spoke to a therapist.
And they work because they give you somebody to talk to that's outside of everything. But at the same time, when they listen, a lot of them will be like, they'll act like they're listening, but mm-hmm. And they're just drawing on a notepad, whatever. Like, well, this is how you can solve this. And then you're like, you really weren't even listening to me at all. I think therapists and everything should be free. Like, if you want to talk to people,
yeah,
hey,
maybe. You think it should be something state or government, kind of like I wouldn't.
No.
Okay.
No, not like that. I think it'd be best if there was an app. An app for good, where you could go on there, right?
Yeah.
And you could be like, I'm here to help with breakups, or I'm here to help with, your life just got you down. You're struggling with money, or you feel like nobody loves you, or anything like that. Like you can say, I'm choosing this category today to talk to people.
Okay.
And then people can come in,
mm-hmm.
and they can be like, hey, this is what I have on my mind.
Yeah.
Somebody in my family died, and you might experience that, and how did you overcome that? And do it for free, so you're not having to pay money, because a lot of people just might not have money, especially at this time right now.
Yeah.
Nobody has money to go talk to a therapist, and it kind of puts it off, because it's like, the only reason why you're listening to me is because I'm paying you money right now.
That's my biggest problem with it, is because of that, because I'm just gonna pay someone for this, and they don't really care. But I guess,
I mean, they might, but they might. They have bills they have to pay, so they have to get paid too. And it's understandable. But I think maybe if you want to have that professional help, you can do that. But if you just want to have like chat rooms, kind of, but it's a one-on-one. You can be like, hey, I'm today I want to help people that's struggling in life for some reason. Their job.
Yeah.
They feel out of place, or just something like that. You go on there, and then all of a sudden, somebody be like, hey, this person wants to talk about what's going on in that category of stuff. And then they get on, and you just chat with them for a little bit, and be like, hey, and they express their feelings. They have somebody to talk to. You don't have to have a face if you don't want to. And you could be anonymous with it. You don't have to have nothing to identify you.
Yeah.
And just have that as a free thing. Maybe have ads and stuff on there, or something like that, to help fund the app.
You know what my problem with that is that I'm more of a face-to-face person.
And you could have that. I feel like you probably integrated that somehow.
Yeah, but like, I'm the kind of person, if I'm having a problem, I don't want to deal with it over text. I want to discuss in person so I can truly understand what the other person thinks without reading it through a message. I mean, on the phone helps because you can tell by the tone and something like that, but it's still not as it should be.
There's this app that's out right now called Whisper.
Whisper.
Mm-hmm.
What is
It's been out for a long time since I was real young, but it's kind of thing where people can put their thoughts out there.
Like their opinions?
Opinions.
Like Facebook?
Kind of, yeah. But they can do their thoughts like, hey, today wasn't a good day, I feel down.
Yeah.
And then you got people that will message you on there and be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? And they'll talk to you, stuff like that. You can be like, hey, here's my number. And they'll like put their number. Hey, here's my number if you want to chat for a bit just to talk about your feelings. And they can do that. It's used for other things too.
Kind of like
Hookup. It's
Omegle. You remember Omegle?
Yeah.
Random person thought.
But like there's some they use it for other things too. But
I know.
At the same time, that it should be something like that because you could have different options. Hey, you can do a preference. I just want to chat, or hey, I want to do video chat, or I just want to talk through audio, and that's it. I think that can help people because people don't like to admit when they have an issue in their life because you're told, especially with men, more than women, just because they're hey, be a man.
Yeah.
Don't cry. You're a man. You got this. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
When it shouldn't be like that.
Well, no, but men has made that harder for other men.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be. I think there should be, a thing out there because a lot of it might help me because they can be like, hey, I can chat and they don't know who I am, and I can just let my feelings go. That I can let my feelings go and not have to worry about, them knowing who I am or judging me based on who I am.
But everyone's going to judge you regardless.
And they will to a certain point. They will.
And you should only care to a certain point because I'm not saying go out there and just not give a shit what everyone's saying, but you also need to take account of what they're saying, not necessarily how they're saying it, but it's people assume things too quick because constructive criticism, a lot of people can't take it. I mean, there's a lot of times I can't take it.
And it's also how they say it too.
Yeah.
That also their tone and how they're talking, their facial expressions, all that stuff takes into account. But there's a lot of people there that complain about stuff, but they don't do nothing about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
At all.
That's
like
half of America.
Yeah. But like you see, and it's not a joke or anything like that, but you see like with homeless people, there's some homeless people out there that's actually they lost their job, they're deep down in the hole, they can't do nothing, and they're trying to get out of it the best way possible.
Yes.
But there's also some that say, hey, I need money for food and stuff, and then all of a sudden they go buy alcohol.
Yeah.
Just to drink their life away. And they shouldn't do that. But because they could take that money and get the money to go get a haircut or get their beard shaved or something like that and then go try to find a job.
Yeah. Look professional.
Look more professional and be like, listen.
Kind of like that cop was shaving a homeless man so he had a job at McDonald's.
Yeah. And I think that should happen that way because but a lot of people they complain about it, life sucks. And it does.
Yeah.
Life's not perfect for anyone. Even the richest man alive has struggles that he just doesn't talk about. But it happens. You get celebrities all the time.
Yeah.
And then you have the paparazzi. They're just taking pictures and everything and writing up all that stuff when it's none of their business. They're human beings too.
Yeah.
And everything. So I think there's a lot of people out there that they dig themselves into a hole. But instead of somebody's like, hey, here's a ladder to get out. They're like, nah, no, I'm fine. So what they do? They're like, nah, I'm fine. I'll just dig to the other side of the world and get out that way.
That's like me. Like, I'm fine. I don't take help.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm
But
good. I can do it with my own. I'm a man.
I probably have told you this story before, but like I don't like it when anyone gives me anything, and because if it's makes it a lot tougher on you to receive a gift because then you all overthink about getting them something also, and it being kind of like the same amount. But I don't like the feeling of have to owe someone, even though they say I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart. But I, it's a lot tougher for me to accept that. Like I had a coworker once. It was like for my birthday. She was like, it was something small. It was a $10 gift card to McDonald's, and I I was like, oh, thank you, and I would refund her $10 on Facebook. And apparently that was the wrong thing for me to do.
I mean, a lot of people also can be like, they can kind of get offended by it too. Like,
Yeah.
I just done this just to be nice.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you think I'm that type of person that I want something back automatically?
Yeah.
And it can offend people. But either way it goes, like, you know, if you're down, get help.
Amen.
If you don't, it sounds bad to say tough love, but you're doing it to yourself. If you don't, it's hard, cause you all make think I got this. I'm an adult. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can take care of myself. I don't need nobody's help.
But
in all reality, there's somebody out there that's willing to listen to you and talk to you and willing to understand what you have to say, even though you don't want to. So, I mean, I think, and even if it helps getting into hobbies.
Yeah.
Or doing something you enjoy.
So basically a distraction.
No.
So not like...
Instead of looking negatively like, this is happening to me, or this is happening to me.
Yeah.
You can be like, well, what am I good at? And then you'd be like, oh, I'm good at painting. Or I'm good at drawing.
Yeah.
Or I'm good at playing video games, even.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess what? Go do it. Make yourself happy. Even if, like, a lot of people with video games, if you play video games, you're a child.
Yeah.
Not, more or less, not now. It's more mainstream compared to how it was in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But if you enjoy playing video games, play those video games. Don't care what nobody else thinks, because I feel like the biggest issue out there is people care about what other people think about them 24/7. If you can care what people think of you as a constructive thing.
Yeah.
But if you care about people thinking about you too much, you're gonna wear yourself, you're gonna wear yourself completely, and you shouldn't do that. I think about what people think about me all the time. What I wear, or I think about I said this the wrong way, or I said in this wrong tone.
Yeah.
I think I have to explain myself to them, and then all of a sudden they're like what? Like, no, you don't have to explain yourself whatsoever.
Yeah.
You go too much in detail and all this stuff, and you don't have to do that.
But you do it anyway.
You do it anyways, and it's like, hey, just breathe. Like I never thought it because like the on the Apple Watch, when it realizes your heart rate's too high.
Yeah.
Mine does it 24/7. Especially at work, it's just 24/7. It's like, hey, you gotta breathe.
You're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Calm down.
It's like, I'm fine. And it's like, no, based on your heart rate, your heart's about to jump out of your chest, so you need to take a breath. Breathing actually does help. Because it gets your brain more oxygen, which means it's going to think better.
I used to use, sometimes I would have, some panic attacks. And while having the Apple Watch, I can use that breathe and, do a 5-minute session. So it actually helps because you're controlling your breathing, you're calming down. And I like that feature that it comes standard on all watches.
You know why? Because they realize everybody's so stressed out all the time. So they
Yeah.
automatically include it like, here's this for free.
It's mandatory in 2021.
You need to breathe. But I mean, I think if a lot of people breathe and realize, hey, this,
Yeah.
this is what's going on. How am I going to overcome it?
Mm-hmm.
And if they just take a breath, step back, they find probably the solution a lot better than just scrambling around like a chick with her head cut off. Like, oh, I gotta do this. It's like when you have a list of stuff you got to do one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like at work, for instance, when I have a list of stuff I have to do, and it's more stuff than I'd be able to do in a whole week that I need to get done in one day, I'm like, I can't get this stuff done. And then I start trying to do every single thing at once. And then next thing you know, I'm like at the end of the day, I didn't get nothing done because I'm too focused on getting everything done.
Yeah, you have to take one step at a time.
You take a step back. You're like, what's most important that I need to do? And then you do that first, and then you start working your way down the list. And that's with anything, including mental health.
That's kind of like, in a way, with like going to a job interview. One of the questions I've typically heard is, tell me a situation where you had multiple things going on. How did you determine what to go first? Is because one that's most important. And it that you have a great point with that. It does have a lot with life too. You can't focus on every little thing that goes around you, and you just need to focus on basically today. You need to focus on the most important thing, then go down the line. And it's actually really good.
You don't worry about, if this glass is in there, you think I'm going to worry about a glass of water in there versus a glass of water right here? No. Because, like, if I'm worrying about that glass in there, like, I need some water and my glass is in there, I'm like, and you worry about that, and it's kind of stupid.
I guess you make a point.
Does that make sense in a weird way? In a weird way.
Sense.
But, like, you got to worry about what's going on around, what you can physically touch, what you can physically do.
Yeah.
It's like when people try to lose weight, they're like, and I'm the same way. When I try to lose weight, I'm like, I do one day of a diet, and all of a sudden I look in the scale, and it's like, I've moved 0.2 pounds. What's going on? I should be skinny right now. Like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden you're like, but if you take a step back and be like, well, this is going to be a process.
Yeah.
You worry about day by day. You worry about staying on that diet or going to the gym that day. And then you keep doing it day by day, because if you start worrying about every little thing going on and you're worried about, how am I going to lose this weight?
You're not
all this weight at once.
Anything.
You ain't gonna do it, because all of a sudden you're going to stress out so much, and all of a sudden you go to Taco Bell and get a bunch of tacos. Like me.
I was about to say, that's awful detail.
Yes, very, very much so. It just happens. You just worry about what you can do.
Yeah.
Not what you can't do, because if you do that, you're gonna put extra stress that you don't need when life is stressful enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think, all these bills
that
you have to worry about, and then your job, you got to worry about your job, maintaining it, and then if you have a family, you got to worry about your wife, your kids, your husband.
Yeah.
You got to worry about all that
very
stuff.
Stressful.
Yeah, and you have all that stuff breaking you down. When we have to take a step back and be like, what's most important right now?
Family.
Yes. Family. Like Van Diesel.
Yeah, like Van Diesel.
I mean, that's just how it is. I think it's, which everybody has their own way of coping.
Yeah.
With things. And, some people like to sleep all the time. Some people like to play games. Some people like to watch movies.
Yeah.
So wind down. That's why when you get off work, most time, you automatically go to what you like to do most. Automatically, to try to relieve your stress for that day and everything.
Just know that no matter what, You're not alone. There's there's people like you out there that's going through the same amount of stuff.
Hmm.
And that's advice that not everyone needs to hear but ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all small in this world. You can't worry about things that doesn't even concern you anymore. Just gotta move on.
Yep.
And if, like Adam has said multiple times, don't be afraid. Always talk, no matter what it is. There's always someone there that wants to listen. And
I agree.
everyone needs a. No matter who you are, no matter if you're this tough SOB that says,
I don't need no help.
I don't have feelings. You have feelings. Blow it out your ass. You have feelings.
Yep.
We all do.
We're human.
Amen.
And we forget that sometimes that we are like a car. It gets you to work and back, right? Because guess what? If you're having to take that 40-minute drive and you have to walk by yourself, guess what? It's going to take you a lot longer and you're going to be a lot more tired.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you need a vehicle to help you get somewhere, to a destination. Even if that's a person.
You're on fire tonight, Adam.
100%. If that's a person, if that's something you love to do,
Yeah.
anything, sometimes you have to take those keys and drive.
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
So, anything you want to leave on? We're gonna make these, this kind of episode short. Basically, it's just talking. Basically, to everyone, to ourselves, to
About life.
About life. But I don't know exactly what we will call this, but there's gonna be shorter ones like this. But if you have any suggestions on what you would like to hear or see, let us know.
We would be glad to get, your feedback. If you just want, in the comments, you just want to talk about anything, get something off your chest.
Of course.
Go to the channel, talk about it.
Be happy to listen. And anything you want to end on?
Just remember, everyone, you're human.
Amen.
You're not perfect.
No, not at all. So if you do think so, you're wrong.
You are 100% wrong. Because when you think you're perfect, life will quickly remind you that you're not. And that you just got to take it one step at a time.
Yes. And know this. Don't sell yourself short. Don't diss you, because we diss ourselves all the time, and there's a lot of stuff we don't like about ourselves, but know that people can see a different perspective than what you can. Your perspective is kind of hypocritical because you've been judging yourself your whole life. But always get help and always talk to someone. And like he said, we'd be happily to listen. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Even if you just need a metaphorically can't talk, shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah. And I know Jesse would be too.
That is definitely true. But like everybody, got a job. Gotta make money somehow to pay those bills.
Yeah. So we're gonna end it there, and if you're listening to us on wherever you find podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or whatever you listen on, thank you, and thank you so much for listening. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you again. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.